Book Talk. This is a review of Kill to Love by Penny Sunday. So as previously mentioned, I was really lucky as the author reached out to me and asked if I'd like to read it. And she framed it as something a little bit like Lights Out and a little bit like Butcher and Blackbird. And seeing as they were my top two reads for 2025, I of course said yes. And she was not wrong. This book is hilarious. So I don't know if you've seen any of Penny Sunday's videos. If you haven't yet, give her a follow because her videos about the book are hilarious. They've made me laugh every single time. There's a particular line in the book about Geminis. I'm a Gemini, and it made me cackle, and she's done a video about it and that also made me cackle. So not only is the marketing for this book genius and hilarious, the book is genius and hilarious. I would say that it is a twisted, dystopian, dark comedy romance. That is a mouthful, so is the book. What's it about? You can probably read the blurb online, so I'm not going to talk about that. I'm actually going to talk about some of the things I've liked. So I'm going to open up my notes. Let's talk about the book. If you see me looking down, it's because I've got my notes like right below the camera. So it's just reminding me because I've read 2 more books since I've read this one, and I'm on to my next lot. So that's what I do. I've previously mentioned that there's some things in the trigger warnings or the menu that made me laugh out loud. And then once I started reading the book, the laughter just continued, and it continued throughout. And sometimes it's laughter at something comedic, and sometimes it's laughing at something dark. And there's not anything I want to give away just yet, but there is a person doing something to another person which is not appropriate, and the main character's like, doop-a-doop-a-doo, I need directions, where should I go? And like, it happens twice. And it's weird that it happens twice, but it's hilarious both times. So if by 25 you haven't met your soulmate, you're sent to prison and then essentially to a battle that's a little bit like Battle Royale or Hunger Games, and it's all televised, which again adds to that comedic effect. And so that really kind of upped the stakes and created this really fascinating world, which is why I call it a dystopian romance. One of the things that made me laugh also in the first chapter is she's very upset about her rug getting stained. And as someone who does laundry, I completely relate. And it's something so simple about that sort of comedy that in this dark moment, this tense moment, I'm relating to the FMC talking about upset about her carpet being ruined. There were a couple of points where I suspected things, and I really liked how the author kind of put little things along the way that you could pick up, but still when things happened, you were so invested, you cared about these characters and what was going on with them. Even though it's a dark comedy romance, I cared. And I think that is a skill of the writer, that even in something dark and twisted, you care and you want to know what's going on. And I just love the FMC that she's so bubbly no matter what's going on. So when she's going into the death battle, you get to choose something to go in with. And I hope I'm not giving away spoilers here. But she chooses sunscreen. And as someone who's allergic to sunscreen but knows sun safety is really important, especially in a country like Australia where it's really, really hot, for her to choose that and take care of her skincare, that made me laugh. And to just not take the battle that seriously, I loved that. And, you know, I'm sure there are scenarios in everyone's life where you go into and you're like, this is really serious. I'm going to go in and make a joke about it. Like, that's how I cope with a lot of stuff. So to see the main character do that as well just made me laugh and made me love her that much more. On page 18, there was needing an advent calendar for the death battle. And I was like, yeah, if I'm not going to work, I don't know what day it is. I don't know what I'm doing. So loved that. That was hilarious. One thing that I must say for Kill to Love is that even though it's a dark romance, there is constantly consent. And I really like that. And it's done in a really sexy way and a really fun way. But the consent is always there for the main characters, and I really, really liked that. That was really important to me. And it makes that world, as dark as it is, that's still something that can then be safe and enjoyable. But I've said that I really feel like this book is a true romance and not a Hallmark romance. It's not insta-love. It's not any of those sort of traditional romances. It's definitely a little bit twisted. It's definitely a little bit dark. I actually really like that. And I think the main outcome of me reading this book is, as much as the MMC is dark and morally grey, he is still pooky and needs to be protected. And that says so much about a dark romance. When that's what I love about Butcher and Blackbird. It's what I love about Lights Out, is that as scary as the MMCs can be and the FMCs, they're still pookies and you love them and you just want the best for them no matter what. And I think that is a sign to me of a fun dark romance. For me, Kill to Love is up there with Butcher and Blackbird and Lights Out. I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm so grateful that Penny Sunday reached out to me and gave me the ARC. Obviously, when the book does eventually get printed, I'm going to want a shelf trophy because I loved it so much. And I've actually been recommending it to people, both online and in person, because I just really want it to take off in the way Butcher and Blackbird and Lights Out have, because if you like those books, you are going to love Kill to Love. And you're going to see the FMC and the MMC as your pookies too.